Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Grady Tech and this is the unboxing of the Vivo Y53s along with a quick hands-on review. Now before we get started, here's the box. In India, this phone is being launched only in one variant. It's priced at 19,500 rupees, comes with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in two colors, Fantastic Rainbow and Deep Sea Blue. We have the rainbow color. Now the main highlights for this phone would be its impressive cameras, 8GB of RAM, faster charging speeds and a bigger battery. So without any further delays, let's have a quick unboxing. So here's how the packaging looks on the front. It just says Y53s. On the back we have some of the highlighting features and some more information. Now let's unbox it. First we have a smaller box. Next we have the phone itself. Underneath it we have some barcode stickers. Next we have the 18 watts power adapter, a USB Type-C charging cable, earphones, and finally a SIM card ejector tool. Now back to the smaller box, we just get some documentation and a soft silicone case. Now let me just remove these stickers and come back to the phone. So this is how the phone looks on the front and this is how the phone looks on the back. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a 3D curved glossy panel, which by the way attracts a lot of fingerprints. At the top we have the camera module with a triple camera setup along with a single LED flash, and it says triple camera along with some camera specs. At the bottom we have just the Vivo branding. On the front we have a pretty huge display with a dewdrop notch. Inside the notch we have the front facing camera. Above the camera we have the earpiece along with some sensors. Below the display it's completely plain and the chin is pretty small considering the price. Now for the sides, on the right side we have the power and volume buttons. Power button also acts like a fingerprint scanner. At the top we have the secondary microphone for noise cancellation. SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots along with a dedicated SD card slot. On the left side it's completely plain, and finally at the bottom we have the audio jack followed by the primary microphone, USB Type-C charging port and the speaker grill. Now this phone has a thickness of 8.38 mm and weighs 190 grams. In hand it feels pretty sleek and has a bit of weight to it. It doesn't feel too heavy and it doesn't feel too light either. Considering the massive 5000 mAh battery, I guess form factor and the weight is reasonable. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 64 megapixel camera with f1.79 aperture, followed by a 2 megapixel camera for taking portrait shots and another 2 megapixel camera for taking macro shots. For selfies, we get a 16 megapixel camera with f2.0 aperture. When it comes to display, this phone sports a 6.58-inch LCD display with Full HD Plus resolution. As for performance, this phone sports a MediaTek Helio G80 processor with Mali G52 GPU with 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. Powering this device is a 5000 mAh battery. It supports fast charging and comes with an 18 watts fast charger inside the box. You can get up to 70% of charge in just about 1 hour. So the charging speeds are also pretty good. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It's just a soft silicone case. It'll just give you some extra grip and prevent smudges. That's it, not too much in terms of protection. But for something free out of the box, it's definitely pretty good. Now this is how the phone looks once we turn it on and set it up. This is how the home user interface looks like. This is the home screen, app drawer. By the way, this phone also has FM radio. And here's the notification panel. That's about the general user interface. Pretty much looks like any other Vivo phone. Now here's the about page. This phone is running FunTouch OS 11.1 Global Edition based on Android 11 with a August security patch, which is pretty decent. As for the storage information, we get about 105GB of space for our user apps and user data right out of the box, and out of that 8GB of RAM, we get about 5.41GB of RAM free for our usage. Now this is the camera user interface. It looks pretty similar to other Vivo phones, but there are some minor changes. By default we have the photo mode. There's also lens options for bokeh and super macro. On the left side we have the portrait mode and the dedicated night mode for the rear camera. On the right side we have video and more camera features. We have a similar interface even for the front-facing camera. Now these are some sample shots. Now let's test the speaker loudness. This one has just a single speaker at the bottom, and here's the audio preview. speaker on this phone is sufficiently loud enough for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now I'll be testing the fingerprint scanner. Unlike most phones, this phone actually has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner and it works really well. It's super fast and almost unlocks the phone instantaneously. Now this phone also has the face unlock feature and that too works really well. In good lighting conditions and even in low lighting conditions, it is pretty fast and almost unlocks the phone instantaneously. Even in complete darkness, it works, but it is slightly slower. Now before I conclude, these are the benchmark scores. So guys, this is the new Vivo Y53s. For a price of 19,500 rupees, you're getting a phone with a pretty good camera, bigger battery, fast charging speeds, and decent performance. You really can't compare this phone with other online exclusive phones, but for a retail phone from Vivo, it is definitely a pretty good phone. Especially the cameras are pretty good. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. With that said, this is Nikhil signing off. See you in my next video.